Hello, my friends. Dumas here, and congratulations. We made it to week 3. We have some great modules coming up here. We're going to be talking about create the webinar that converts. This is days 15 through 21. Your goal is to build a webinar you can literally reuse weekly. That's the goal because repetition is going to be your key to success, period, end of story. So we're going to be using these next bunch of modules, this week 3 right here, to build the webinar that converts. And it's going to be tweaked and it's going to be adjusted over time. It's going to be based on feedback from your attendees. It's going to be fun. But we're going to start with a great foundation, with a great base, because from there you can build something even greater. So, module 15, day 15, the webinar framework. That's specifically what we'll be talking about in today's module. We're not talking about slides yet. We're not quite there, but we're going to get there, okay? Why structure comes before the slides. You have to have structure first, then we can have the slides. Slides amplify clarity, absolutely. They also amplify confusion, especially when you start before you have the structure. So we build the story first. There's a reason why history in 2 words is his story, her story. Humans, we resonate with story. We always will, we always have. So we have to build the story, the structure of the story. This is the narrative. A converting webinar is not a presentation. I'm not up here like at a chalkboard, like a professor in college, like presenting to you. It's a narrative, okay? It's a narrative. It's a guided journey. That's a key word. I love those 2 words, actually. Guided journey. You're going to be guiding your attendees through a journey. Take them on a journey with you. People follow stories, not bullet points. People fall asleep to bullet points. People zone out to bullet points. People grab their phone and they start checking X and Facebook and Instagram during bullet points. But people follow stories. Once upon a time are powerful words for a reason, okay? So here's the hook. The hook always answers one question. Is this for me? This is where we need to start. We need the people to know that right at the beginning, this is for them, because that will keep them watching, okay? That's going to be a key part of this. Attention is earned literally in the first minutes. We'll talk about this more at a later time, but I like to call them open loops and closed loops. You immediately want to open a loop because when the human brain has an open loop, it wants to close that loop. So if you open a loop and say, you are not going to believe what I'm going to tell you about X, Y, or Z, I'm going to be getting into that in just a few minutes here. But before we do, blah, 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 like you've opened the loop, especially if that X, Y, and Z, which it will be, is very interesting to them. You've opened the loop. They're going to want to stick around to at least close that loop. And by the way, hint, by the time you close that loop, you'll already have opened another loop as you keep building that chain of open loop, close loop, open loop, close loop, open loop, all the way down your webinar that just keeps people engaged, keeps them hooked. Attention is earned in the first minute. Please remember that. So what's the problem? You must name the problem better than they can, okay? When people feel understood, they listen. Like if you can literally say the words that they're thinking, if you can literally say, hey, this is the number one solution to a real problem that I know you're having, they're going to be like, wow, how does this person know? How does this presenter, how does this individual know this? Like you must name the problem even better than they can. You're going to be able to, by the way, maybe not your first or second go round, but after you have some of those live Q&As and you ask the attendees, like, what's your biggest struggle? Like, what did you like about this presentation? What didn't you like? You're going to be able to start naming the problem better than your future attendees as a result. So when people feel understood, they just flat out listen. So let's talk about the mechanism. Let's talk about the mechanism. This is your unique way through the problem. No tactics, not tools. This is a process they haven't heard before, okay? So this is your unique way through the problem. You can't just regurgitate stuff they've already heard all the way through. So you can't just be like, okay, if you want to get better vitamin D, you need to be outside for 15 minutes a day in direct sunlight. It's like, if that's it, like I've heard that, I'm moving on. This person has nothing new to share. You need a unique way through the problem, not tactics, not tools, a process they haven't heard before. People like process. People like step-by-step. That's why the weekly webinar engine's so successful, is because I'm giving you a process, a unique process to make sales weekly, to make consistent revenue. Okay. This is a unique process, period. So what's the proof? Proof removes doubt, stories, results, patterns, belief is built here. This is where you're building belief. So remember the proof. Proof is where you're removing doubt. These are through stories, through results, through patterns, And that's where the belief is going to be built, right in that zone. And then we get to the offer, okay? The offer, it's not a pitch. Again, what is a pitch? It's desperate, it's pushy, it's persistently kind of nagging and annoying. No, the offer is the next logical step for someone who believes in the mechanism, okay? The logical step next for someone who believes in the mechanism. And of course, they're going to believe in it because you're going to do such a good job back a couple slides ago in explaining that mechanism that you have created. And so they are going to want to take the next step because your offer makes it so clear. And by the way, very exciting for them as well. So, flow over perfection, by the way, this is something I've said a few times that I want to keep stressing this. If the flow feels right without slides, slides are going to make it stronger. If it doesn't, slides will not save it. So, your presentation, like I said presentation, but your webinar, like your story that you're going to be telling, you have to be able to tell it without slides. The slides are going to add to it, of course. It's going to anchor people and it's going to enhance the story. Okay. But it's flow over perfection. Okay. We're not going for perfection ever. Remember what I said about perfectionism. It's good to have some human errors in there just to be relatable. But if the flow feels right without the slides, watch out. When you add those slides, it just keeps getting better. So resist building too early. Okay. A lot of people make this mistake, but resist it. Clarity first, design later. I mean, I had this presentation lined up so detailed before any slides were made. Okay. Like I really had that process dialed in. This discipline, it will pay off forever. So spend time in this moment because if you do this, it's going to pay off. I mean, man, for Podcasters Paradise, I did the same exact webinar, which of course I was tweaking and adjusting, pivoting, but I'm talking like a word here, a slide there, like an image there for like 9 years. Okay. It can literally pay off forever. Of course, you're updating and staying with the times over those 9 years in my example. But I mean, the essence, the core, the foundation, I mean, it can last for so long. So what's your day 15 outcome? By the end of the day today, you should have a clear hook, a defined problem, a unique mechanism, supporting proof, and a natural offer. And tomorrow, we turn this framework into slides. Okay, then we're going to go into slides. Okay. And again, if you're going through this for the first time, just keep going, get through this whole process, come back again, and then go through it. If you're here for the second or third time watching this video, okay, now you're doing these things. Okay, you're doing these things. You're creating a clear hook, a defined problem, a unique mechanism, supporting proof, and a natural offer. But how are you doing this? How are you putting this all together in the back end? Well, you can power your weekly webinar engine. It's everything you need, one platform, zero duct tape, with HighLevel. That gives you the funnels, the landing pages, the webinar registrations, the reminders, email, SMS, follow-up, calendars, booking, payments, checkout, automations that sell while you sleep. These are exciting things. And guess what? If you become my affiliate, that means if you sign up for HighLevel through my link, you get the bonus stack. If you want to build exactly what we're building in this course, highlevelfire.com. You go to that link, you sign up through my link, you become my affiliate, and then I'm going to give you my bonus stack right here. A 30-day free trial of HighLevel opposed to 14, which is what most people get. You're getting a 15-minute strategy call with me one-on-one to talk about your business, your process, your flow, to point you in the right direction, to validate what you're doing. You're going to get weekly live office hours with me. Every week, I'm going to have hours posted that you can jump on with me and just have a conversation. Of course, it might be a lot of people sometimes, and then, hopefully you'll learn from them as well and get a chance to ask your question too. Funnel templates, webinar registration, reminder flows, follow-up automations, conversion tested email sequences. This is the exact stack that I use to power the weekly webinar engine. And that's why when you sign up through my affiliate link, you're going to get access to all of my backend by just me being able to convert it over into your HighLevel with one simple click. So hope this helps. We got a lot more to go over. So let's dive in to the next episode. But until then, catch you on the flip side.